السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته يا شيخ علي.
أبا عبد الرحمن، كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله يا شيخ علي.
طيب نبدأ الدرس.
نعم يا شيخ.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد. Today, bi'idhnillah, we continue the reading of our book Al-Adab Al-Mufrad by Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri rahimahullah. We repeatedly say that Al-Adab Al-Mufrad was actually Kitabul Adab, a book on the manners and the conduct of a Muslim. But because Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri wants to make us understand that this is a separate book, if you compare it to Kitabul Adab in Sahih al-Bukhari, this is a separate book, Ufrida fi al-Adab wa ma yata'allaqu biha. It's a book that is specifically, separately compiled regarding Adab. So that is why it became called Al-Adab Al-Mufrad, separate from Kitabul Adab, the chapter about Adab in Sahih al-Bukhari. And we have come upon a very long journey book. From the first hadith, we have tried to pick the hadith one after the other, up to the last hadith we read in the last class, hadith 581. Today, inshallah, we'll be looking at the next hadith, hadith 582, and it comes under the chapter Babun Man Ahabba Kitman As-Sirri wa an yujalisa kulla qawmin faya'rifa akhlaqahum. Babun aw Babu Man Ahabba Kitman As-Sirri. The chapter about the one who likes, who gives preference to Kitman Sir. Kitman Sir is to preserve secrets, is to preserve private talks, private information. They are referred to as Asrar. The Sirru, the privacy, the secret, the private conversation between yourself and a person, or an information regarding the individual, or a company, or a matter. These are referred to as Asrar. Perhaps because of the nature of your job, you came across some secrets from the office, or you came across some private matters regarding individuals. I give you an example. Just the way a medical doctor comes across the privacies of individuals in every sense, depending on the illness that was presented to him. From the group of people who have access to the people's privacies, to people's secrets regarding their health physically, in fact, regarding the conditions of their mind mentally, they are the medical doctors. From the first day you meet a medical doctor, for example, he knows your age. He will ask you, how old are you? This is a person who, if he meets you on the road, he may not be able to say to you, how old are you? But because now he has to clock you, as they call it, he has to ask you, how old are you? And wallahi, willingly, without reservations, we all quickly tell our doctors our ages. Then they ask you, are you married? if they can't find symbols of marriage. But even at that, in fact, you may have visited their office with a wife. Yes, they will ask you, are you married? When you say yes, they say, to how many wives? If a man was hiding a wife from his first wife, it is in front of the medical doctor that becomes something to expose. I am just trying to say that there are asrar, things that we like to keep private. Things like we don't like it that the people are aware of it. So we like to keep them private. This chapter about these kinds of matters. وَأَنْ يُجَالِسَ كُلَّ قَوْمٍ فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ. The second thing in this chapter is that the individual also أَحَبَّ أَنْ يُجَالِسَ كُلَّ قَوْمٍ. He likes to sit with every group of people. He likes to sit with scholars who discuss Quran. He likes to sit with scholars who discuss Hadith. He likes to sit with scholars who discuss fiqh. He likes to sit with lawyers who work in the court. He likes to sit with medical doctors. He likes to sit with people. فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ. And because he's sitting with different group of people, he begins to understand how these various kinds of people, how they conduct their life. فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ. He begins to understand how they live their lives and the kind of character that they show to the people. So two major lessons are under this chapter heading. The issues about keeping privacies, preserving privacies. Babu man ahabba kitman as-sirri. The chapter about the one who likes it that secrets are preserved. And this is a matter that is basic in our religion. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he said to us that إذا حدث الرجل بالحديث إذا حدث الرجل بالحديث ثم التفت فهي أمانة. إذا حدث الرجل بالحديث ثم التفت. If a person tells you something, if a person gives you a report, ثم التفت, and then he begins to look left and right as he tells you about the matter, فهي أمانة. It means that what he has told you is an amana. It's a trust that you should preserve. So this is a lesson for the people who have the privacies of people in their hands. For the sake of Allah, these privacies, these secrets of the people, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned them as amana. He said, إِذَا حَدَّثَ الرَّجُلُ بِالْحَدِيثِ ثُمَّ الْتَفَتَ. When a person tells you something, he begins to look left and right. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, فَهِيَ amana. The reason he's looking left and right is that he does not desire yuridu an yakuna sirran. He wants it to be secret. Ahabba kitmanahu. He desires that it should be preserved. O people, let us learn to preserve the secrets of the people. They come from the aspects of amana. Doctors should learn to preserve the privacies of their patients. Those who also know about the privacies of people are lawyers. Lawyers usually know about everything regarding their clients. When they ask him questions, they ask everything about his life. These kinds of people should be careful. They should know that these privacies belonging to the people, they are amanat, and that the people like it that these privacies should be preserved. From those who have privacies of others are husbands regarding their wives. Wallahi, men usually have the privacies of their wives, everything about her. And that was why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he mentioned a group of people from the worst of human beings. He said, Inna min asharri nasi inda Allahi manzilatan yawm al-qiyamah. Inna min asharri nasi inda Allahi manzilatan yawm al-qiyamah. This hadith occurs in Sahih Muslim. The first hadith we read to us, إذا حدث الرجل بالحديث ثم التفت فهي أمانة. That one occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud. But this second hadith is the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Inna min asharri nas inda Allahi manzilatan yawm al-qiyamah. From the worst of the people in the sight of Allah on the day of judgment is ar-rajula yufdi ila mura'atihi wa tufdi ilayh. That is a man who will to yufdi ila mura'atihi wa tufdi ilayh. He will expose the entirety of himself and cover up his wife. Likewise, she will become exposed, and then he comes to her. ثُمَّ يَنْشُرُ سِرَّهَا. Thereafter, the husband goes out to begin to expose the secrets of this woman. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called such men min asharri nas inda Allahi manzilatan yawm al-qiyamah. From those who will be in the worst of conditions, their status will be amongst the worst in the sight of Allah on the day of Qiyamah. The point here is that men usually have the secrets of their wives, so they must be fearful, consciously fearful of Allah regarding these secrets. Of course, the same thing would apply to women. Women, wives, usually have the entirety of the secrets of their husbands. Sometimes when spouses obtain these private information regarding themselves, they do so knowingly. But sometimes, and most of the times, these things become known unknowingly. A man just finds it normal to tell his wife everything about himself. The woman just finds it normal to tell her husband everything about herself. The people should be fearful of Allah regarding these amana. They are amanat, and Allah will ask you about them. The Quran says to us that وَأَوْفُوا بِالْأَهْدِ إِنَّ الْأَهْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. Don't forget, fulfill your pacts. So if your wife has told you, or you began to understand things about your wife, oh brother, please keep it secret. For the sake of Allah, it's an amana. The same thing if a woman now knows about her husband, keep it secret. It's an amana. Whether at the time the two of you are the best of friends, or at the time that you have issues at home, you have quarrels at home, don't let it be that the means of punishing your husband is by revealing his secrets. Don't let it be that the means of punishing your wife is to reveal the secrets between the two of you. Don't do it. They are amanat. And these are the reasons why the husband and the wife must pay attention to good dealings, because most of the time secrets become exposed when there are troubles at home, when there are quarrels. A thing that, in fact, even a woman may not be able to ever say it about her husband. She begins to say it because she wants to be sure that the verdict was given in her favor. The same thing, a man. He will say things about his wife that he would not say ordinarily because he wants the swing of the verdict to be in his favor. And the same thing applies to people who come in between spouses or people generally. If you come in between people to settle disputes, don't dig beyond what is necessary to resolve the crisis. Two brothers are in a feud. If you hear what is enough for you to reconcile between them, that's okay. Don't go on digging too much, because most of the time, very brilliant and intelligent people do not like that. Their secrets are exposed. So the first lesson here, oh brothers and sisters, is that it is talking about hubbu kitman sirri, that a person likes it that his secrets are preserved. Preserving secrets is from the things that our religion desires. You too, as an individual, you should not be a person who does not keep your secrets. Make your tummy be big enough to protect your secrets. A Bedouin, an Arab in the desert, was asked sometimes, he was asked that Kayfa kitmanu kalistiri, how are you able to preserve secrets? How are you able to preserve your private matters? He said, Ma qalbi lahu illa qabrun. Ma qalbi lahu illa qabrun. My mind is no other thing for my secrets except a graveyard, meaning that I bury my secrets in my mind the way we bury our corpses in the graveyard. Oh brothers, keep your secrets. Don't expose yourself. If you expose yourself too much, you become so much vulnerable. If you expose yourself too much, you become vulnerable. So regarding these matters, it is upon two sides. As an individual, don't go on exposing yourself, talking about every detail, giving every information. Don't do it, oh man. Avoid it as much as possible. Avoid giving every detail about yourself. And sometimes, it is necessary that these details are given. Just as we gave examples with medical doctors, just as we gave example with lawyers, just as we gave example with judges, or people who advise couples, or people who mediate to resolve crisis amongst people. Sometimes too, teachers become so knowledgeable about the affairs of their students. For the sake of Allah, keep these secrets. They are amanat. People should not be exposing themselves, and the people become exposed to for necessity should, for the sake of Allah, preserve the privacies of individual. Sometimes it has to do with the company privacies, confidential matters in the office. Do not expose your company. Do not expose your place of work. Preserve people's secrets. Yes, the scholars have mentioned the circumstances in which the secrets may be preserved, such as when there is widespread general benefit in exposing those matters. When there is widespread general benefit in exposing the matters, then the matter may be exposed. If the people know about it, then it will bring general benefit amongst the people. In that kind of a case, then the secrets may be exposed. Sometimes secrets may be exposed so that people learn from those secrets. Again, learn from benefits. So they make benefits from them. They know how to navigate life if they are told about some things. In that kind of a case, just as it is necessary for the people to learn, that is how much you should be willing to provide from the matters that are private. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, one day he sent Anas ibn Malik on an errand. Anas ibn Malik stayed long away from his mother, and so she walked on the street, and then Anas ibn Malik was seen, and the mother was asking Anas, "Why did you stay long before you returned to me?" Anas said, radiyallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ba'athani li hajatin. The Prophet had sent me to go and fulfill a particular need. She asked Anas, Sulaym radiyallahu anha asked Anas Abu Hamza, ma hajatuhu. What was that need that the Prophet sent you to fulfill? Anas said, innaha sirrun. My mother, it is a secret too. And she said, radiyallahu anha, la tuhaddithanna bisirri rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallama ahada. Do not expose, la tuhaddithanna. Do not forever at all in any circumstance expose bisirri rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the mother encouraged Anas not to say to her, nor to any other person, what the secret of the Prophet was. The entire point in this is that we should note it. Islam encourages individuals to keep their privacies. Keep your privacies with you. Keep your confidential matters with you. When you need to now say to the people, just say as it is necessary, because Islam encourages that we keep privacies. Bismillah, perhaps during question time, we'll be able to mention other matters regarding this. The second aspect of the discussion today, Bismillah, is وَأَحَبَّ أَن يُجَالِسَ كُلَّ قَوْمٍ فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ. The individual also, he likes to sit with people, different groups of people, فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ, so that he can understand their conduct, how they conduct their lives. One of the Atba'u-Tabi'in, Dawood ibn Abi Hind, he was well known from the scholars of Hadith. Dawood ibn Abi Hind, he said, rahimahullah, جالست الفقهاء فوجدت ديني عندهم. جالست الفقهاء. I used to sit down in the company of the scholars of fiqh. فوجدت ديني عندهم. And I found my religion with them. If you sit with the scholars of fiqh, you will understand how to make wudu. You will understand how to make tahara. You will understand how to make ghusl. What are the rulings concerning salat? What are the rulings concerning business? And all of this you will gain from fuqaha, your religion. He said, وَجَالَسْتُ أَصْحَابَ الْمَوَاعِثِ فَوَجَدْتُ الرِّقَّةَ فِي قَلْبِي. I also sat down with Ashab al-Mawa'iz, people who usually give admonitions and sermons. فَوَجَدْتُ الرِّقَّةَ فِي قَلْبِي. I noticed that my mind was soft. I had riqatul qalb, a soft mind. Some of the people, their minds are hard because they don't listen to admonitions. But when I sat with the scholars who regularly give admonitions, وَجَدْتُ الرِّقَّةَ فِي قَلْبِي. I found out that I gained softness of the mind. وَجَالَسْتُ كِبَارَ النَّاسِ فَوَجَدْتُ الْمُرُوءَةَ فِيهِمْ. I also sat down with very eminent, noble people in the society. فَوَجَدْتُ الْمُرُوءَةَ فِيهِمْ. And I noticed that my character, I had good character when I sat down with eminent people and noble people. So if you sit with noble and eminent people, you will behave normally. You will behave nobly. Your behaviors will be high ranking. You will not do what people who are nonchalant about themselves do. Why? You sit with high ranking, noble people of self-esteem. He said, rahimahullah, he said, وَجَالَسْتُ شِرَارَ النَّاسِ. I also sat down with people who have very bad characters. فَوَجَدْتُ أَحَدَهُمْ يُطَلِّقُ امْرَأَتَهُ عَلَى شَيْءٍ لَا يُسَاوِي شَعِيرَةً. وَجَدْتُ أَحَدَهُمْ يُطَلِّقُ امْرَأَتَهُ عَلَى شَيْءٍ لَا يُسَاوِي شَعِيرَةً. I also جَالَسْتُ شِرَارَ النَّاسِ. I also kept for some time the company of very bad, evil people. And I noticed that in ahadahum, one of them, yutalliku imra'atahu ala shay'in. He's ready to divorce his wives or his wife over a matter. La yusawi sha'ira. Something that does not amount to a small grain of wheat. He's ready to divorce his wife over it. When negative people of negative character discuss, with the slightest reason, they'll say, if so and so person scores a goal in a football match, he's going to divorce his wife. It is very, very common amongst people of low behaviors. They handle their wives as if they are manadil, handkerchief. These are negative characters. The point here is that sometimes you sit with people, but you find out that except for the last group of people that Dawood ibn Abi Hind mentioned, he has sat down with very eminent people. He sat down with fuqaha. He sat down with ashabul mawa'iz. He sat down with kibarun nas. It was when he sat down with people of negative characters, he observed that, oh, these people, is this how they are. The point here is, the one who is very intelligent and knowledgeable, when he sits with people, he understands them. And this is what Al-Bukhāri says here. Man ahabba an yujalisa kulla qawmin faya'rifa akhlaqahum. Sometimes an individual is a very intelligent person. He wants to sit with people to understand how they conduct themselves. Even though it could be very dangerous. Once it becomes known that a group of people are sinful people, once it becomes known these people are sinful, they are people of bid'ah, don't sit down with them. This is the basic rule in our religion. The basic rule is keep away from the sittings of sinful people. Keep away from the sittings of people of innovations. These two groups of people, don't sit with them. Don't sit with sinful people. Because the person you sit with, like the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, وَمَثَلُ جَلِيسِ السُّوءِ كَمَثَلِ صَاحِبِ الْكِيرِ. مَثَلُ جَلِيسِ السُّوءِ. The similitude of جَلِيسُ السُّوءِ, an evil companion that you sit with. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, كَمَثَلِ صَاحِبِ الْكِيرِ. The similitude is like the one who has bellows. You know the bellows that goldsmiths use when they walk in their places of work. Goldsmiths, they have a bellows. That bellow, it releases heat with which they melt metals and then they shape those metals. The fire itself comes from a kind of a coal, a system of coal, charcoal. So usually when they use bellows, There is the smell of charcoal that comes with the smoke. If you sit with a person who is like this, relate it to the person who smokes cigarette. If you sit with him, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, in lam yusidka min sawadihi. If the blackness that emerges from the soot, from the burning coal, if it does not blacken your face and your clothes, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, asabaka min dukhanihi. The smoke will definitely afflict you. Smoke will get into your eyes. The smoke will get into your nose. In fact, when you go away from that place, everybody knows you will be oozing with the smell, pungent smell of smoke, meaning that the kind of people that you sit with, they influence you a lot. The Muslim must choose his place of sitting and the people that he sits with. The only one who is permitted to sit with sinful people sometimes, they are the learned people who want to tell them to move away from the sin. You want to tell somebody to leave the sin, you can go and meet him in the place he's committing that sin and give him good admonition so that he can leave the place. There are a lot of examples in the history of Islam from the companions, from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. You can talk to a person who is committing a sin right in the place he's committing that sin, to leave the sin, to go away from the sin. The same thing applies to the people of Bid'ah. You can go to the place where the Bid'ah is being done and you can discuss with them to leave the place. So if you don't have influence over those people you want to sit with, you don't have a way of positively influencing them, then don't sit with the people of evil. Don't sit with the people of Bid'ah. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, he usually says that mujalasatu ashabil ahwa mumarridatun lil qulub. Mujalasatu ashabil ahwa, sitting down with the people of desires, mumarridatun lil qulub, it makes the mind to become sick. So these two things, we must pay attention to it in the class today. Man ahabba kitmana sirri, the individual who desires that secrets should be preserved. Wa an yujalisa kulla qawmin, he is also very brilliant. He wants to sit with various groups of good people. You want to sit with the various group of good people, فَيَعْرِفَ أَخْلَاقَهُمْ, so that the various group of good people, you can understand how they behave. So you can sit down with medical doctors. You can sit down with lawyers. You can sit down with farmers. You can sit down with cattle rearers. You can sit down with those who take care of goats. You can sit down with various groups of people so that you understand how they behave. This does not mean that sit down in a bad company. I hope that we should pay attention to this. Choose the company where you go to. Don't go to a company. Don't sit down in a gathering with a group of people you don't make benefit from. If you benefit from them, sit with them. If the benefit does not involve, of course, committing sins and innovations, sit with them, make benefit. If you are the one to give the benefit, sit with them for the period of the moment that you can give the benefit. Otherwise, stand up and go away from every garden of evil. This is the basic rule inside our religion. May Allah protect each and every one of us. These two things are combined in this story that Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri has mentioned in Hadith 582. He said, Rahimahullah, حدثنا عبد الله بن محمد قال حدثنا عبد-الرزاق قال أخبرنا معمر قال أخبرني محمد بن عبد الله بن عبد الرحمن بن عبد Al-Qari. Let us look at our notes. This person is Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin. He is Ibn Abdin Al-Qari, Ibn Abdin Al-Qari. He is not Abdul Qari. He is not Abdul Qari. He is Ibn Abdin Al-Qari. He is Al-Qari. ibn Abdin al-Qari, not ibn Abdul Qari. He is reporting, he said, an abihi, anna Umar ibn al-Khattab wa rajulan min al-Ansar kana jalisain. فجاء عبد الرحمن ابن عبد القاري. Let's note it. فجاء عبد الرحمن ابن عبد القاري. In some text you will see it written as Abdul Qari bil idafa. It is not. He is Ibn Abdin al-Qari. It is an ascription to a village called Qara. 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 It in ascription to Qara. He is called Al-Qari, a man from the city of Qara. So he is Abdurrahman ibn Abdin al-Qari. So he said, rahimahullah, Anna Umar ibn al-Khattab wa rajulan min al-Ansari kana jalisain. فجاء عبد الرحمن ابن عبد القاري فجلس إليهما فقال عمر إنا لا نحب أن يرفع حديثنا. فقال له عبد الرحمن لست أجالس أولئك يا أمير المؤمنين. قال عمر بلى فجالس هذا وهذا ولا ترفع حديثنا. ثم قال للأنصاري من ترى الناس يقولون يكون الخليفة بعدي. فعدد الأنصاري رجالا من المهاجرين لم يسمى عليا. فقال عمر فما لهم عن أبي الحسن فوالله إنه لأحراهم إن كان عليهم أن يقيمهم على طريقة من الحق. Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri reports this hadith from his Shaykh Abdullah ibn Muhammad, that is Abu Ja'far al-Musnadi, rahimahullah al-Bukhāri. This Imam is from the scholars from Ma Wara al-Nahri. Ma Wara al-Nahri, those scholars who came from behind River Oxus, Nahru, Jihun. They are called Ulama'u Ma Wara al-Nahri. Ma Wara al-Nahri. The scholars who come from behind the sea. The sea in reference is what? Nahru Jihun, called River Oxus. Those scholars, from amongst them was Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri himself. That area has Tirmiz, that area has Samarkand, that area has Balkh, that area has Al-Bukhara, and so on. So they are referred to, it also has Al-Raj. So you have like Abu Zur'ata al-Razi from those areas. One of them was this Shaykh of Al-Bukhari, Abu Ja'far al-Musnadi. He was well known for something. He traveled so widely collecting ahadith, and he was from the first teachers, amongst the first people from whom Al-Imām Al-Bukhari took knowledge. His name is Abdullah ibn Muhammad Abu Ja'far al-Musnadi. He said, Haddathana Abdur-Razzaq. Abdur-Razzaq is Al-Imam Abdur-Razzaq ibn Hammam as-San'ani. The hadith is hadith 582. So Abdur-Razzaq ibn Hammam as-San'ani was from the scholars of Yemen. He is also reporting from his Shaykh, well known, Ma'mar. That is Ma'mar ibn Rashid al-Yamani, also from the scholars of Yemen. Al-Imam Ma'mar ibn Rashid said, أخبرني محمد ibn Abdullah ibn Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qari. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qari. The scholars say that fihi jahalatun, he has some sort of, he is some not clearly known. His reliability in terms of reporting a hadith is not clearly known. He has fihi jahala. Now it is apparent that the jahala that is not, the matter that's not clear here is jahalatul hal. His condition is not clearly known. Is he a reliable reporter of hadith or not? So they say fihi jahala. He is. We can say clearly majhulul hal. His hal is not clearly known, even if we have known his name. His ayn is known. His adalatul zahira is known. As for his al-adalatul batina, it is not clearly known. So that's why they say fihi jahala. Is a bit unknown. That is Muhammad ibn Abdullah. He now said, an abihi. He is reporting from his father Abdullah ibn Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qariyu. His father also has jahala. His father is not also clearly known. So in this isnad, we have two persons, Muhammad ibn Abdullah and his father Abdullah. Their hal, their ability to properly retain a hadith and convey a hadith is not clearly known. Are they reliable or not? We don't know. These kinds of a matter make a reporter or make a hadith to become declared as weak. The hadith is weak if we are not certain about the reliability of those who reported the hadith. How reliable are they to convey a hadith? When he hears a hadith, does he retain them, whether by memorizing them, keeping them in his mind, or bidabt fil kitab, or by writing them down, or bil jam'i bayna dabt as-sadri wa dabt fil kitab, or by combining between dabt as-sadr, memorizing the hadith, and then still writing it down. There are scholars like that. Like Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. He combined between the two dabtan. Abu Huraira was memorizing the ahadith from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He was also writing it down. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As was also like that, radiallahu anhum. And among the scholars in the later times, from those who memorized the ahadith and still wrote it down was Al-Imām Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He had his documentation while ahadith are still in his mind. So when we are not certain whether this person is a reliable transmitter, did he really hear and transmit? That is when they say those kinds of persons who were known. We have jahala, they are majhulul hal, their condition we don't know. You can see when they say that a hadith is sahih, we are saying that the condition of the transmitter of that hadith is well known. We know that he hears a hadith, he writes them down, and then he reads to his students what he has heard from his own teachers. So it's a clear-cut science that defines the authenticity or otherwise of a statement or action reported from the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So here, Muhammad ibn Abdullah and his father Abdullah, they have jahala. Their hal is not known. So this isnad is da'if. Now, it was Abdullah, the father of Muhammad, who also has jahala with him, that is now reporting that Anna Umar ibn al-Khattab wa rajulan min al-Ansar kana jalisain, that Umar ibn al-Khattab and rajulan min al-Ansar, a man from the people of Medina, kana jalisain, the both of them were sitting down. فجاء Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qariyu. Abdur-Rahman, who is the grandfather of Muhammad. So you can see the isnad. It is Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdur-Rahman. Muhammad is majhul. His father Abdullah is majhul. They are talking about their grandfather. Who is that? Abdurrahman. It was this Abdurrahman, Ja'a fajalasa ilayhima. He came and he sat down with Umar ibn al-Khattab wal-rajulu min al-Ansar, and that man from the people of Medina. فَقَالَ Umar. Umar then said, إِنَّا لَا نُحِبُّ مَنْ يَرْفَعُ حَدِيثَنَا. We don't like those who convey our discussions to people. لِمَاذَا نُحِبُّ كِتْمَانَ السِّرِّ. Omar was sitting down with somebody and the third person came. Omar quickly said, radiyallahu anhu, as is in this report, Inna la nuhibbu man yarfa'u hadithana. We don't like people who go about. When they sit with us, don't forget Omar was Amirul Mu'minin. It is like somebody going to sit down with the president of a country. When he hears the talks, the private discussions of the president with people, he goes about to monger it. Private discussions, state matters, confidential. He goes about announcing it to the people in the public. I heard President so and so one day saying to his ADC so and so, and then he goes about. Omar said, as is in this report, reported with that isnad, Inna la nuhibbu man yarfa'u hadithana. We do not like people who go about conveying what we say. This one also happens sometimes in the gatherings of learning. One or two things are said by way of making clarifications. You see the students of that teacher, they go about conveying those information. And those information are not things that should be conveyed. They are private matters regarding individuals or circumstances or situations. You see students go and start talking about it. They start talking about it. They start talking about private matters. Omar said, radiyallahu anhu, Inna la nuhibbu man yarfa'u hadithana. We don't like people. We don't, hey, you coming to sit down with us. We don't want someone who goes about announcing and discussing, exposing in the public private matters we discuss that are of serious confidentiality. We don't like people like that. So this means if you sit with a people and you are comfortable with them, if you sit with the people you are comfortable with. Because the scholars also say that لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُجَالَسَةِ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُؤَانَسَةِ. It is not every person يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُجَالَسَةِ that you can sit with. It is not every person. لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُجَالَسَةِ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُؤَانَسَةِ. It is not every person you can sit with that you can now take as a beloved friend. You go forth and backwards with him. وَلَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُؤَانَسَةِ. And it is not every person that you can take for a friend. You go about with him, is your companion. يُؤْتَمَنُ عَلَى الْأَسْرَارِ. Not every one of them you now feel comfortable to start telling about confidential matters. So it is possible that you are in a gathering and someone comes. You are mentioning private matters. You see that he's not someone that is reliable. These confidential matters, he sees them, he's glad. He wants to quickly go to the Facebook to do, breaking news on the Facebook regarding what he hears. These kinds of people, when they come, you can curtail them. Hey, the matters we are discussing here are not Facebook matters. The matters we are discussing here are not WhatsApp matters. Please don't expose this matter on Facebook. Don't expose this matter on WhatsApp. Some people are like that. Matters that were discussed with them in privacy, years they come to bring it in the fore. Yesterday you said, the other day you said, the other day. So if you are in a gathering, yasluhun nas, the people are suitable lil mujalasa, for you to sit down with them. The scholars say, لَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُجَالَسَةِ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُؤَانَسَةِ. It is not every person who is suitable for you to sit down with that is suitable as a companion. وَلَيْسَ كُلُّ مَنْ يَصْلُحُ لِلْمُؤَانَسَةِ يَصْلُحُ أَنْ يُؤْتَمَنَ بِالْأَسْرَارِ. It is not all those that you can make friends that you can now begin to expose yourself to. It means if you want to tell people about your private and confidential matters, you really need to be very, very deep in your thinking. Your emotional intelligence must be very strong. Otherwise, most times you regret even ever having anything to do with people. May Allah protect us. So as the man came, Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qariyu, Umar radiyallahu anhu quickly said, Inna la nuhibbu man yarfa'u hadithana. We don't want people who go about exposing our secrets. فَقَالَ لَهُ Abdur-Rahman. Then Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qariyu said to Umar, Lastu ujalisu ha'ula. Lastu ujalisu ula'ika ya Amir al-Mu'minin. O Amir al-Mu'minin, Lastu ujalisu ha'ula. I don't sit with people like that. So I am not like that. I don't sit with people who find interest in exposing public confidential matters. So I'm not like that. I don't do it. I don't sit with those kinds of people. Meaning that there are some people in their own gatherings, all that concerns them is exposing secrets of people, individual medical matters, exposing families, exposing husbands, exposing wives. The kinds of WhatsApp groups that women belong to, where they feel free to share the privacies of their husbands, will fall under this category. The groups, private groups, WhatsApp groups women have, where they say that they want to be free to share the privacies of their husbands, it will fall in these kinds of group where this man said, Lastu ujalisu ulaik. I don't sit with people like that. Oh woman, go away from such groups. Groups where all that concerns the women in the group are private matters of another woman's husband. Avoid these kinds of groups. Men too should keep away from groups where all that concerns the members who partake in that WhatsApp group or the like of that is to expose the privacies of their wives for whatever reasons. Avoid it. Keep the secrets of your wives as secrets. Keep the secrets of your husbands as secrets. Don't forget, those secrets are amanat. The circumstances that will permit that those kinds of secrets be exposed, bi'idhnillah, will come back to them. Maybe we should just say that. Maybe, and as we said too, if there is a pressing benefit in saying it, yes, it can be said. If I say it, people will gain. You can say that. People will make benefit if I say it. Yes, you can say it. If I say it, it will discourage people. Like a woman who has a bad experience in marriage because the husband was not a good person. If you go about saying this to young girls, what you are saying to them is that marriage is a scam, and the marriage is not a scam. It is your own that has turned on to become a scam. Or a man who marries a very disobedient woman, he goes about to start saying that marriage is bad. It is not marriage that is bad. You are the one who married a woman who was bad. So people like to give bad impressions about institutions that are ordinarily good. They were the ones who made mistakes. But they want to make their mistakes as if those mistakes are institutional. No, they are personal. So if you share it, make it be clear that you were the one who made a mistake. I made a mistake. Say it to the people. Don't make it seem as if every person who does it has made the same mistake that you have made. Everybody is not making that mistake. There are people enjoying their marriages, men and women. There are men and women really, really enjoying their marriages. So if you have a problem and you think you want to share that problem, make it be clear you were the problem, or that your spouse, whether your husband or your wife, depending on the circumstance, was the problem. It is not that marriage itself is a problem. There are people in marriages and they are enjoying their marriages. In fact, they make the large majority. Those complaining are very few. The large majority are enjoying their marriages and managing the challenges of marriage. Just as with every aspect of a life of a human being, there are challenges. So for the sake of Allah, let us manage what we say to the people, and let us know the kinds of gatherings that you keep. So Abdur-Rahman ibn Abdin al-Qariyu, he assured Umar ibn al-Khattab, last to Ujalisu ulaika ya Amir al-Mu'minin. I don't sit with people who are used to discussing public confidential matters and exposing secrets without reasons, without benefits, without pressing need. I don't sit with people like that. Qala Umar. Umar then said, Bala, if that is the case, then that is something that is good. Fajalis hadha wa hadha. Then if you are like that, then you can sit with people like this, you can sit with people like this. Perhaps Umar is referring him to people who hold very confidential discussions, and they are not people who go about exposing private state matters. وَلَا تَرْفَعْ حَدِيثَنَا. If you are like that, then sit with people like this and make sure that you don't go on to expose the discourses with people. Don't go on exposing secrets. Don't go on exposing confidential matters. Keep confidential matters confidential. Keep private matters private. Keep personal matters personal. If they need to be said, you think there's a benefit that will be gained from your saying it, just say what is sufficient for the benefit to be attained. Don't go on exposing yourself, talk without limits. May Allah protect us. ثم قال للأنصار, after advising Abdurrahman ibn Abdin al-Qari, who came to that gathering, Umar radiallahu anhu now turned to the Ansari he was talking to. You now see that the matter that Umar was talking about is a matter requiring confidentiality. Radiallahu anhu. Umar now said, Man tara an-nasa yakuluna yakunu al-khalifata ba'di. Man tara an-nas. Umar is asking that Ansari. Man tara an-nasa yakulun yakunu al-khalifata ba'di. Who have you seen the people talking about that he will be the Khalifa after me? So you can see the matter is a very delicate matter. Omar was asking the Ansari, you move around in the cities. Have you heard people talking about who will become the Khalifa after me? It's like the president of a country talking to one of his aides who goes about the people in gatherings, attend meetings, maybe his chief of staff asking him, have you heard people talking about the person I would like to hand over to as a governor, as a president, or the like? Have you heard people talking about? You see that Umar needed to block those who will be exposing this kind of a talk. I was with Umar yesterday. In fact, he was talking about who is it that the people want him to bring as the next Amir. So you see, when you discuss private matters, be careful. When you discuss confidential matters, be careful. Don't discuss confidential matters before some people. There are some brothers. Once the matter reaches them, it will reach the whole world. So if you have someone who will tell them, you can block that person. Don't tell so person about so matter. Just like Umar said to this person. He said, Fajalis hada wa hada, wala tarfa hadithana. Okay, you can sit with us. You can sit with so persons. Wala tarfa hadithana. Don't be a person who will go about in the public to expose what you hear in our gatherings. When this happened, Umar now asked the Ansar he was sitting with originally, after cautioning the third person who came. He said, Radiyallahu anhu, Man tara an-nasa yaqulun. Who is it that you have seen the people talking about? Yakunu al-khalifata ba'di. Who will be the Khalifa after me? فَعَدَّدَ الْأَنصَارِيُّ رِجَالًا مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ. This Ansari that Umar was talking to, who was with him before the third person came, عَدَّدَ الْأَنصَارِيُّ رِجَالًا مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ. He started mentioning some men amongst the Muhajirun. رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ لَمْ يُسَمِّ عَلِيًّا. As he mentioned the Muhajirun, he did not mention Ali. Radiyallahu anhu, Ali ibn Abi Talib, that eminent companion of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu salam, and the husband of his surviving child, Fatima radiyallahu anha. The people were talking about the person who should be Khalifa after Umar. They did not mention Ali. Why? فَقَالَ عُمَرُ. Umar radiyallahu anhu, as is in this report, and we have told us that the isnad has some weakness in it. فَقَالَ عُمَرُ. Umar then said to this Ansari, فَمَا لَهُمْ عَنْ أَبِي الْحَسَنِ. فَمَا لَهُمْ. What is it that is wrong with these people regarding what do the people find uncomfortable about Abu al-Hasan? Who is Abu al-Hasan? Ali ibn Abi Talib. It means the companions used to call themselves by their kunyas. Abu Nāsir, Abu Fulan, Abu al-Hasan, Abu al-Barakat, Abu al-Fadl. He said, radiyallahu anhu, فَمَا لَهُمْ عَنْ أَبِي الْحَسَنِ. What is it that the people have wrong with Abu al-Hasan? فَوَاللَّهِ, I swear by Allah, إِنَّهُ لَأَحْرَاهُمْ. I swear by Allah, Abu al-Hasan, Ali ibn Abi Talib, لَأَحْرَاهُمْ. He is from the most careful, the most appropriate amongst them. He is the most exclusive amongst them. In kana alayhim, if he becomes their ruler, he is the most careful amongst them, most in the appropriate position. An yukimahum ala tariqatin min al-haqqi. He will pay attention, an yukimahum, to keep them straight, to keep them firm, ala tariqatin, upon a path in al-haqqi, of truth. Ali ibn Abi Talib la ahrahum is the most attentive, is a person he has serious attention. He will pay attention li'an yukimahum, so that he can keep the people steadfast ala tariqatin min al-haqqi, upon the path of truth. This is the same man that they are not talking about. They should be talking about Ali too. Yes, they may be thinking about Abdur-Raūf ibn Auf. Yes, they may be thinking about others amongst the companions. They may be thinking about Uthman. They may be thinking about Ali. But how about Ali ibn Abi Talib? Ali ibn Abi Talib is also a person that if he becomes a ruler over them, and yukimahum ala tariqatin min al-haqqi, he has that ability to be able to keep them firm upon the path of truth. This was what Umar was reported to have said. It means the third thing here is that Ali ibn Abi Talib was a very honorable person in the front of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Don't forget that Ali ibn Abi Talib even married his daughter, Kulthum. He married her to who? To Umar ibn al-Khattab. So between these companions, they had noble, they shared mutual respect, they shared mutual esteem. Ali ibn Abi Talib, Al-Imām Ibn Majah, reports a hadith that Ali ibn Abi Talib would always say that Khairun Nasi Ba'da Rasulillah Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. The best of the people after the Messenger of Allah was Abu Bakr. Wa Khairun Nasi Ba'da Abi Bakr Umar. And the best of the people after Abu Bakr was who? Umar. So you would see there's always mutual respect between Ali and who? And Umar. So Umar radiallahu anhu, and that was actually what happened. When Umar was stabbed radiallahu anhu before he passed away, he assembled a group of 6. And he said to them, each of you is good enough to become the Amir. Each of you is suitable for the Khalifa. And one of those he appointed into that group was who? Ali ibn Abi Talib. He also appointed who? Uthman ibn Affan. He also appointed who? Abdur-Rahman ibn Auf. Radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. So we have 3 major lessons today. The first one is that try to make secrets to be secrets, whether those secrets are your own or secrets of others, except as it is necessary. The second lesson today is don't sit with bad people because they will have bad influence on you. If you're a person who is able to have positive influence upon bad people, just sit with them within the limits of being able to positively influence them. After that, you go away from them. The basic rule about sitting with people is that you must avoid sitting with the peoples of sin and the people of innovation. The third lesson here is that Ali ibn Abi Talib was a very respected person in front of Umar ibn al-Khattab. And likewise, Umar ibn al-Khattab was well respected by who? By Ali ibn Abi Talib. He even married his daughter Kulthum to Umar ibn al-Khattab. That is one of the biggest ways to show respect and love for a person, that you bring your daughter and you marry your daughter to him. I think we can stop here for a class today. Then we can continue in class tomorrow, inshallah. About the Rahman. Try now. Amin wa iyaakum, Aba Amir. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, sir.
Yeah.
Naam, Shaykh.
You can go now.
Looking for a question that is related to the topic.
Yes, there's a topic here. There's a question here from, I think, one of the Ummahat is asking that she has a surgery and a condition, and that she's hoping that she wants her husband. She said, I'll be seeing a consultant soon. How can I tell my husband that I don't want this to be discussed with anyone, even his mom? If at all anyone will hear, I want it to be from me. This kind of a condition too will fall in these matters. If a person does not like that a particular thing be known about him or about her, then respect that privacy. Respect the people's privacies. This one happens a lot, although sometimes it is difficult to curtail. You just find that people fall in that condition unknowingly. It's not as if they have an intention to expose you, but somehow the matters just become exposed. In fact, after saying it, they feel bad that they had to say it. So in such conditions, the women should not take offense. And then the men too should apologize. It can even go vice versa. Sometimes men don't like women to say about them and about their homes. Men don't like you to say some things about their homes to your family too as a woman. So the matter goes left and right. So in this kind of a case, if the woman does not like that the privacy be exposed, then the husband should respect that and should please not expose the privacy. Sometimes also, maybe some kinds of funding would be required for the condition of the woman, and the man needs to say just at least a bit for him to be able to raise the funds for surgery and the like of that. Then the woman should not be angry in that kind of a circumstance, because it has become something he needs absolutely in that condition. Allahu Alam. I think that is clear. Ameen wa iyyakum.
Next question is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah preserve Al-Shaykh and Khair. What about certain scholars narrate issues of another person or perhaps a family during their lectures, but do not mention any name, just to make topics they are discussing more clear to listeners?
Yes, it is necessary. Such things can be mentioned. The intention is not to expose them, but for the listeners to gain from that. There are a lot of that in the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, between himself and his wives. You see, Aisha usually say a few things, radiallahu anha, about the things that happen inside the house of the Prophet ﷺ, so that we can make benefits from them, so that we can learn from them. Even in the Quran, there are narrations. The intention is that the people can learn from them. And this should happen if no harm is feared. If you narrate it, no harm. There's no harm that is feared. If you look at the narrations, no harm is feared. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told some secrets to Fatima radiallahu anha shortly before she died, shortly before he died, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Aisha radiallahu anha was asking Fatima what was it that the Prophet was saying. Fatima did not tell Aisha until the Prophet died, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So sometimes some things will be necessarily kept as secrets, or as long as the person who has that secret is alive. When he dies, you can say it. More so if saying it will bring benefit to the people. It will calm them down. Maybe your father had told you some secrets about some people. This one is like this, this one is like this. And then you grow up, you started seeing them behaving like that. You can say, hey, come, daddy had told me so and so and so. So you need to be very careful. So you can say, expose these matters as benefit will be required. If there is no pressing benefit, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once mentioned to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that he wanted to marry Hafsa, the daughter of Umar radiyallahu anhu. Umar radiyallahu anhu came to Uthman. I want you to marry my daughter Hafsa. This is something we don't do now. A man sees another person righteous. He meets him and says, I have a daughter. Can you marry my daughter? Omar did so to Uthman radiyallahu anhum. Uthman said, let me think about it. Anzuru fi amri. He left Uthman. He went to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Let me make you marry my daughter. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq did not even say a word to Umar radiyallahu anhuma. Before the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam now mentioned to Umar that he wanted to marry Hafsa. Thereupon Umar returned to Abu Bakr. He was annoyed. I told you to marry my daughter and you were silent. And Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, radiyallahu anhu, lam yamna'ni an arji'a ilayka fima aradta alayya illa anni كنت علمت أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ذكرها فلم أكن لأفشي سر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, لم يمنعني أن أرجع إليك فيما أردت علي. Nothing prevented me from giving you a response regarding what you had presented and proposed to me. إلا أني قد علمت أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. The only reason I did not say that was that I had known that the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, ذكرها, he had mentioned her, he had mentioned Hafsa. فَلَمْ أَكُنْ لِأُفْشِيَ سِرَّ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ. And I was not going to expose the secrets of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you could see after the marriage, now Abu Bakr could now say to Umar, the reason why he had kept quiet, he can now expose it because it is no more a secret now. The Prophet had already married Hafsa now. Because it is not a secret again. It stopped being a secret. So a matter can stop being a secret. So if it stops being a secret, the way it had been, it can be, we had discussed it before it happened. So those kinds of things can be, and there will be no blame, inshallah, about exposing things like that. Allahu Alam. There are many examples in the life of the Prophet Muhammad with his companions, radiyallahu anhu. Allahu Alam. Ameen. Iyakum Aba Amir.
There was a question from yesterday's class that we can discuss today.
Naam, Aba Amir.
Naam, as a quick read, please, I have 3 of my female children presently in Tahfiz.
Naam.
I have 3 of my female children presently in Tahfiz school, and 2 of them will be finishing soon, inshallah, and will continue with the Western education afterwards. Shaykh, I am so scared of them forgetting all they have memorized. Please, what can I do to prevent this from happening?
What you can do to those 3 girls, and it is actually a fear that is reasonable. Allah protect them, make them become successful people, that the memorization of the Quran will be beneficial too in this world and the hereafter. You can think of taking them to schools where the Islamic knowledge is properly combined with mundane or Western education, as you have called it. Look for a good madrasa where the 2 are combined. Many parents make a mistake that your child memorizes Quran and speaks some basic Arabic of Durusul Lugha Arabiya. They have not become scholars. And it does not mean that they have known Islam. Some people think that is all they owe their children. We make you memorize Quran and then you speak Arabic. No, you have not taught them fiqhuddin. You've not taught them the religion itself. You have only given them the raw material. How about the products and the process leading to the production of the product itself that should be useful in day-to-day life? So this woman, get your children to a school where the both of them are properly combined. Islamic knowledge, Arabic, fiqh, hadith, and all of these will be combined with good muraja of the Quran. And all of that will be combined with the mundane education that they seek. If your intention is that, let them just memorize Quran. You remove them, you put them in school, you want them to go to school boko throughout. It may not work. Al-Muraja'atu Hifz. The basic work about the Hifz of Quran itself is Muraja. If they don't make Muraja, they will forget the Quran, and that itself is an act of sin. It's a kabira min al-kabair. That a person memorizes the Quran and forgets it. Go and look for a good school wherever you are. Maybe in Ilorin, maybe in Lagos, maybe in Ibadan, wherever. There are good schools everywhere that combine the 2. They will learn physics, chemistry, and biology properly, and all other sciences. And they will also learn the Islamic sciences and sustain their Quran in the school until at least they leave secondary school age, where they can proceed on their own. I hope that this is useful and advice for her, inshallah. I mean, can we call it today now, Abu Amir? I mean, or you have a question you think we should answer? Let's call it today, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ameen wa iyyakum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.